Hey there, fans of Brotherly Love Wrestling. It is I, Vic Delicious.
Philly's own, the Mecca here.
It is the real McCoy, J.D. Axe, Justin D. Xavier. And
it's your man, CD, the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend, RJ City.
Hey there, Brotherly Love Wrestling. Bill Carr here.
Hey everyone, this is two-time guest Wheeler Yuta.
Two bozos from Philadelphia flapping their gums about pro wrestling, this pro wrestling.
Are you ready? No! They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to Brotherly Love Wrestling. And on today's show, we're going to be talking a little bit about AEW, leading into the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. I'm not calling it a premium live event. It's a pay-per-view. It always will be a pay-per-view.
Wait, so, what?
They're not called pay-per-views anymore by WWE. You know?
Really?
Wait, for real? Where have you been? For the past, 2 months, maybe more?
I haven't been paying attention to that.
It's been called a premium live event, not a pay-per-view.
Well, because I guess you're not paying per view.
Yeah. They're still pay-per-views, though.
Just can't let it go, can you?
I can't, no.
Premium live events just too doesn't have to flow. Pay-per-view.
Well, of course not. We've been saying pay-per-view as long as we can watch wrestling.
No, premium is already longer than fucking pay-per-view. I think premium is longer than that. And I forget what the other two words are now that it's
live
event.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what the other two because I'm stuck on premium.
Well, yeah. Anyway, the Extreme Rules pay-per-view coming up in Philly, which we will not be attending, but I feel like it is a very, very solid pay-per-view that they're building to on Saturday, which is another thing I really love.
I'm getting so fucking old that I don't want to leave the comforts of my house.
It really has to blow you away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, a Mania would get me there. Royal Rumble would get me there. I don't know. It's just that maybe I'm tainted by Extreme Rules being so bad for a while.
You're right. No, I mean, look, as soon as I saw it, that it was going to be in Philly, in my head I was like,
what I hope, what I hope is that it's so good that I regret not being there. I don't see how they're going to do that. But I'm optimistic that they could.
So before we get to that,
okay,
I do want to talk about AEW because
see, I thought I was leading us into the promised land.
No, I knew you were, but I wanted to start here because you text me, and I wanted to go over this because
I text you.
This was on Wednesday. Arthur Ashe, the ROH title.
Yeah,
you texted and said AEW is basically unwatchable anymore. Is what you said.
Oh,
so I kind of wanted to touch on that. Because
it hasn't been that good in your
opinion. It hasn't.
In my opinion, it's been a lot more fast forward or play around on my phone than actually wanting to watch.
Okay, so I wanted to dive into this because when we started this show, all the guys from All Elite Wrestling were in Japan or Ring of Honor or whatever, and we were really into a lot of that. We discovered them, and we couldn't get enough of watching them. We would go to all the events. A Ring of Honor would come to Philly because we wanted to see the Bucks. We love watching Omega Okada. We love watching Omega with other guys. The main guys that we watched built this company with Cody, of course, and we were pretty excited when it happened. And then it kind of fell off for both of us, to be honest. But we were excited for some things.
So much so that they just had a show this past week in Philly. And I had not one.
Yes, this text was 2 weeks ago at Grand Slam. I know.
No, but I had no.
This past week
when I found out, in the past, when I found out, what did I do?
Immediately
that day.
We're getting tickets.
I last minuted it.
Well, yeah,
I didn't remember until last minute.
Mm-hmm.
So but the first one they came, we sat in that fucking digital waiting room or whatever the hell they call it.
Yeah.
For
the second they went on sale, we tried to get them.
And we got awful seats, but
it was still fun. It was great.
because it was the first time we got to see Omega wrestle live.
Yes.
And I wanted to be there for that. And AEW would be the only way, really, that I would get to do that.
Yeah. And the second time we went, we got to see CM Punk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the reason for going for that, because I wanted to see CM Punk live at least one more time.
Yeah.
And I had only seen him, I think, maybe once before. I don't know if I've ever.
Yeah, I have.
I don't know if I ever have, honestly. I don't know if I've ever seen CM Punk live.
I think that was which is the beginning sound clip at the beginning of our intro, is when he says, "Philadelphia, are you ready?" That is from that Survivor Series with him and Hunter. But yeah, I agree. But this one, now I agree with you. If they're watching Wednesday night, I think compared to the other events that were in Philly, it was a severe downgrade. Even though you had Saraya, her coming out was fucking amazing.
Yeah, but that wasn't
her promo. Like having her
didn't even get like the actual debut.
The return. That was at
so it's not as good, I don't think.
It's
not nearly as good.
I was pumped to hear what she had to say in front of a Philly crowd. I was severely disappointed. I thought that entire thing fell flat. And ring rust does not apply just to actual wrestling. It applies to being on the mic and talking in front of people. But I thought that fell very flat.
She thought that she could go out and just coast, I feel. Like the name alone was going to generate the cheers. But that didn't happen because the fans, for the most part, really weren't.
Yeah, they really weren't having it.
They didn't seem enthused. You could blame it on a Philly crowd or whatever, but I didn't really overly care what she had to say. I didn't think it was.
Do you believe that she is a shot in the arm if she wrestles for that division? Do you think she helps that division?
I don't think she was ever a really good promo. So yeah, I think the in-ring would completely revamp for the most part that women's division if she actually, because no one really went to go see a Paige promo. They wanted to see her in ring.
Yeah, she
was good in ring. And I don't know when everyone got on the Paige wagon. Like, is she? I mean, maybe I'm in the minority here, but was she even that good? Was she like mind-blowingly great? That
I think it was her being completely different.
Okay,
I think that was one appeal.
Okay, so you think it was just the aura, the personality alone?
Yeah,
because you don't think it was you agree with me partially. You don't think she's anything special in the ring?
No, I don't want to say that either, because I think it's one big package. I think it's when she came out, when she won from AJ Lee right after.
Yeah, I mean that her.
Exactly. But it was the different style of woman that you were seeing wrestle and how she was wrestling, completely different to the Bellas or anyone who came before her like that. She was a whole different mold and sparking that women's evolution of wrestling. So that is a part of it. I still think she's solid in the ring, better than majority of what AEW has. And that's not a knock on those women. She just is.
All right. So do you think it's the name change? Do you think that it's not her being called Paige is why? Because I do that sometimes. Like, I feel like I'm less invested in someone that comes out with a different name when I know them. Like, I did the same thing with Miro. Like, I know him as Rusev. I liked him as Rusev. I'm not. It's me being stubborn. I'm not giving them a chance.
Being stuck in your ways. I get you.
I'm not giving them the chance to be their.
Do I think that's what the majority of fans, or what?
No, I think I talked myself out of that.
Oh, okay.
I think it's. I think a lot of it's me not wanting to. But I might not be alone. But
yeah, I agree. I think there's a little bit.
I might be in the minority on this one.
But I think there's probably a group of people that probably agree with you, with the same way.
Just hearing that name, I'm like, oh man, it's not the same. It doesn't feel like the same.
Okay, so back to the original question with AEW. Everything we liked about the indies and these companies and these big guys with cool names.
Here's the thing, though,
and the way they wrestled was different.
That was the indies.
Yes.
Now that you have to, it's not like going there live and be like, oh, I can watch this because it's in front of me. But if this was televised, this probably wouldn't be as good.
You didn't think that then?
No, but I think that now. I think that's part of the problem now. Like, I think they need these TV ready and like it needs to be like a polished. I feel like it's not a polished product.
So you blame AEW, you don't blame like the Bucks and Omega. You blame more AEW and the deal that it has that has watered down what you originally liked about them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. So then with that, do you agree or disagree with me that AEW was better when Cody Rhodes was involved with AEW than it is since Cody Rhodes is not? You believe it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so because that kind of hit me watching the last 2 weeks, 4 programs of AEW.
Not only that, but I honestly think MJF is almost stale.
I can't even. No way. I won't agree with that.
Yeah, but if you actually listen, the promos that he's cutting are the same style promos. It's nothing new. It's kind of just like,
but it's because he does old school heel. He's the only one doing it.
I understand that, but
you feel it is because you've seen that your entire life. The demo that's watching him and loving him I feel like for some reason, I don't know what it is. And because you're always pretty negative when it came to the two of us. You were always the more negative one anyway. And that's not nothing. I'm not saying anything is wrong.
No.
Okay. No. But I feel I've never seen you go from so like, yeah, they're doing good. I like this. I like this. I like that. Now you're almost completely against watching any of AEW, and I've never seen you kind of do that to wrestling.
I'll still watch my favorites. I'll watch them because I have no choice. That's the only place I'm going to see them. Like Bryan Danielson, it's the only place I'm going to see them, and I like watching him wrestle, and I like everything that he does. He was one of my favorites when he was Daniel Bryan. Like, so of course, I'll still mark out always and forever for Sting, just because it's him. And if he's in the ring and he does his comeback, I will always get goosebumps every single time. I like that feeling, so I'm going to watch that.
I get you.
But it's the tag team division fell off.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but I feel like the people that are the champs deserve
it. I'll say a negative and a positive.
Yeah.
So I feel like the tag division fell off, but I like that they're actually building new tag teams up, like that wouldn't have been there before. Like I like that they're doing that, but I still feel like their top now isn't as good as how their top was.
Like how they began.
Yeah, like Bucks, FTR, Lucha Brothers. But I mean, there's only a certain amount of times you can actually watch them wrestle. So I get it. It's something new, but I still feel like the new isn't as good as it was.
So I watched again because I've had all this time.
And I will go back to the thing that sparked it.
Yeah,
was the Jericho winning the ROH title.
Yes.
And I looked at that as because everyone's like, oh, this is the most the ROH title has ever meant. Like I looked at it as like if I were like someone told me 5 years ago, they told me Jericho won the ROH title, and I would have immediately thought, what the fuck happened to Jericho's career? He was fucking.
So you went complete opposite.
Yeah, I thought that this was one of the lowest in Jericho's career.
Oh, in Jericho's career, I could see why you would equate that to that.
Yeah, I feel like I don't feel like it necessarily makes the ROH title any more prestigious. I feel like it makes Jericho look less in his whole.
What if
all of the accolades that Jericho has had? I feel like this is the lowest one he's had.
All right, honestly, so let me ask you this: if they go a certain way, which I feel like this is kind of where they're going from, just the way he cut the promo. If he's fighting Samoa Joe, and then he's even though we saw Danielson, but and just keeps Jay Lethal, and they keep bringing back these Ring of Honor guys, and he destroys them and keeps destroying them, and then all of a sudden Ring of Honor rises up, and you have an unsung hero come up out of nowhere and.
So who's the unsung hero?
Again, I don't know. I'm just saying. I feel like that's kind of where they're headed. Now, the end could be Joe.
He beats all the ROH darlings.
Yes. Like, you could do... I feel like that's kind of where he's going. Because he said he's smashing everybody. He beat up the ring announcer. You know what I mean? He's immediately he's starting to do all this stuff. So I feel like that's kind of where they're going.
Yeah,
if that's what it is,
being
and it
the dishonor of honor.
Exactly. I feel like if that's where they're going, and the end point is crowning this new champion that dethrones Chris Jericho, and then that pushes you into their TV product, all right, I'm good with it. I don't mind it that much. If he's the one that you're going to do it with.
Right, it's who they went with for their AEW title.
Yeah.
I get it, but I didn't look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't really look at it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, if it happens, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was the storyline, but it wasn't for me.
I get it. I'm glad you said Danielson, though, because with all the extra time I've had, I've been scrolling through Peacock and looking at older stuff. And I just watched the 24 of WrestleMania 37 when they first came back in front of a crowd. And it was Roman, Edge, and Bryan.
Yeah.
And I'm watching all this backstage stuff leading up to the match and listening to Daniel talk. Or Bryan talk. I don't buy the fact, like, all the lip service you hear from him about AEW and how this is the best point of his career and all this shit. I look at what main eventing that WrestleMania meant to him as he said it then watching it. And don't forget, and not only that, I watched both parts. I watched night 1 and night 2 of 24. So I got to watch and absorb Bianca and Sasha as well, watching that. And that gave me the same goosebumps that it gave me the night it happened, the night we watched it. AEW, and I'll give them maybe a handful or a little bit more, I might be forgetting, they don't make me feel like WWE makes me feel. Those moments, as corny as people want to say they are legit. And the reason you get your goosebumps is because wrestling had those moments when we were kids. When you said Sting firing up, it immediately takes you to a 5 or 6 year old kid watching Sting fire up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's the biggest thing. I feel like now...
Well, we're not 5 or 6 anymore.
Granted. But wrestling at its core, when it's really done well, can make you do that no matter what age you are. I.e., Edge.
Yes.
Edge coming out that Rumble, there wasn't a person who didn't get goosebumps or freak out. Punk was another one. Driving in the car on the way over 2300 Arena. I'll never forget watching it on our phone as we're on 95 and his music hitting because we still couldn't believe that it was actually going to happen.
Yeah.
So, like, those moments, I feel like they're few and far between when it comes to AEW, and WWE does it a lot better and a lot more. And I don't know what it is.
I mean, it's all a preference thing, but yeah, I lean more towards what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, AEW might have good matches, but they don't have those. They don't have those memorable moments yet.
Yes, yeah. There have been some. Like I said, don't get me wrong. There have been maybe a little bit more than a handful of moments, and CM Punk is definitely one of them.
We don't know what that's doing for the younger generation, though. We don't know what their actual outlook upon it is.
The younger generation seeing an older generation star coming to AEW, does that have the impact as it does on me and you?
No.
And that's the biggest thing.
But I want to know what their most memorable moments are. Like, I want to know what they consider, like, oh, yeah, remember when, like, Hangman won the title? Like, is that there? Like, because we have memorable moments.
Well, yeah.
And that's
why. And like you said, we also have time on our side, too, of lots of years of watching wrestling.
Yeah.
Where AEW is 3 years old.
Yeah. So if people just start watching wrestling and they're like, oh, this is great. Like, what was their basis beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even younger kids who watched WWE growing up, they didn't watch in the era we did.
No, usually it's the Ruthless Aggression.
Either Ruthless Aggression or maybe
PG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but yeah, Cena, he had fucking moments.
Yeah.
A million of them.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's like, a WWE moment.
Yeah, I know.
Again, I'm just saying,
like, from Cena's return at.
It's not fair to.
I know it's apples and oranges
for sure.
What I'm saying is that it's the machine.
Yes,
they perfected it, and I'm talking into this right now. It probably sounds great. They know the formula.
Yes.
AEW is trying to reinvent the formula, but the formula has been perfected.
Yeah,
it has been. There's no tweaks that need to be made to the actual formula. Now, whether or not you want to stick to the formula, that's a different story altogether. But to try and recreate and redefine that formula is never going to happen.
well, and that's why AEW is good doing what they do.
Yes,
if they stick to doing what they do.
Yes, but you cannot be more perfect than perfect.
Yeah.
And WWE has made it very hard to make it better, those moments that they create.
And they've also had, you have years upon insanely amazing wrestling minds. You have all that.
Look at this though. I'll put Sasha and Bianca's moment against Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega's moment when they squared off for the first time in a 30-minute, like those are the moments.
I get that. I like that. I like that comparison.
Yeah, so those are I don't even know if that's WWE's biggest. Like in the past couple of years, it might be the biggest.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's hard to beat it.
But for AEW, I feel like that's their biggest in-ring moment. I feel like it is. Because what was Punk's in-ring moment? It was
MJF.
Darby Allin.
I think it was more MJF and Punk.
Yeah, that was great, but I'll still put the first time you're getting to see Omega. Well,
and I'll put a lot more. Honestly, for me, the first time I thought of moments for AEW, and the first one that came to mind that gave me chills and made me really sink into AEW is Dustin and Cody. That match when they squared off, because remember the promos leading up, everything was so good, so well done, and then them standing across from each other, and even that match and how it ended, and that for me is a AEW moment I'll never forget, and one of my favorite. So that one for me stands up above them all so far. And I would love to see who else would agree or disagree with that. But
I still think Kenny
and Bryan is bigger.
Bryan is bigger. I think that was the feeling that you wanted, because they had the whole Hogan Rock thing where they didn't even lock up yet, and the fans were just devouring it.
Yeah,
it was that, not to that magnitude, but still it was that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Bianca and Sasha before they even locked up. They were both almost in tears of how crazy the crowd was going.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the moments. That wasn't for Dustin and Cody didn't have the crazy standing ovation. I feel like that's a part of the whole moment. That's why I equate those two together, because they're more recent too.
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
The history for WWE, WWF is a lot greater,
obviously.
But in recent, I'll put those two and be like, all right, what made you feel more? What was more memorable? And I still think Bianca and Sasha is a bigger and more memorable moment. I'm talking about biggest against biggest, and I still think it's a clean victory.
We're gonna have to put this out because I'm really interested in what people will say. I definitely want to put a poll up. And see what
I feel like it's a good comparison. I just don't know if people will be see it at first and be like, oh, well, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like just if you go by moment and crowd reaction and that whole thing, I still feel like the bigger moment was, and I don't even think it's arguable, was Sasha and Bianca.
I agree with you, but I also feel, again, it's a little unfair. You're talking about the main event of WrestleMania.
Yes.
The first night fans are back. So that's a little stacked against the Omega Bryan.
I'm talking about biggest, my opinion, biggest moment and biggest moment for in-ring. Because it wasn't really a storyline for Omega, but it was a history and a lineage, and this was everyone.
The top wrestlers.
Yes, this was everybody wanting it. So there was anticipation for so long. So that was the anticipation jitters and whatnot. The other one was a storyline and a moment.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested. I can't wait to put that poll up because I want to see what people say. Yeah, I'm interested in that. All right. Well, I mean, that about does. I just wanted to get your opinion because of that text.
Well, there you go. My opinion.
And
I'm not I'm not anti AEW. I want it to be better. I don't feel like it's firing on all cylinders.
And the funny thing is, because you said this before, you said, and I'm talking months ago, that you couldn't stand, and this is also before Omega came back. You didn't like and we know this. If anyone has listened or watched our show, he does not like Kenny Omega on the mic at all.
No.
Once the bell rings, then he likes Kenny Omega, but you don't like that, and you really have been soured on the Bucks. Now the Bucks and Omega aren't even there, and you still don't like AEW.
I kind of miss them.
See, that was the other question I wanted to get at was them gone.
I didn't like the Bucks being the corny. I thought it was just so forced and corny. I like the Bucks. I think they're much better baby faces. I think the Bucks are. With the streamers and the crowd, I think that the crowd wants to cheer them, and I think that the in-ring presence is more suited for
baby
fire up the crowd. And I don't feel like people want to boo them.
I mean, I agree.
They're great.
I agree with what you're saying. No,
be the greatest tag team, and just be that. Because I mean, like, it's not far from true.
You're right.
So just be them, but be happy about it. Kiss the babies. But yeah, I mean, I'm not overly anti AEW. I'm just at this moment right now, it's not as enjoyable to watch.
Did you watch Rampage, the second part of Grand Slam? I had to ask you that too. I feel like you didn't.
No, I don't think
because I feel like you did not see. And now I'm going to completely blank on his name.
That's good.
WCW.
Crowbar.
The Great Muta.
Oh, I did see a clip.
Okay.
And Sting's going to be in his
yes,
farewell tour.
Yes. Yeah, but
not
Muta,
that I watch.
That you'll watch, yes. But I'm saying Muta being on Rampage, I thought you would be all in.
I would have worn my shirt.
Yeah.
Fatal Encounter.
All right, so let's move on to the...
Yes, another Philadelphia show coming up.
The pay-per-view.
The good old Federation will be closing down Broad Street and putting on a show. An extreme show from the Wells Fargo Center, formerly the First Union Center, formerly the Wachovia Center, formerly the Core State Center.
I think that's about it, right?
That's as far as I go back.
So, Extreme Rules, I think for the first time in a long time, the pay-per-view name actually looks like Extreme Rules. Every match is a gimmick match.
It wasn't like that before.
No.
They tried to give you like, oh, here's some regular, and they have like kind of like weak, like
here's a tables match and here's an Extreme Rules match, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Like that's what it would be. Now we got
a gimmick match the whole show. That's what Philly wants to see, though. They want to see a slobber knocker.
If you're doing a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules in the city that birthed Extreme Championship Wrestling, you better deliver. So having it in the city for the past however many years,
you have to do it.
If
you're going to do an Extreme Rules match or Extreme Rules pay-per-view in Philly, you have to make it. It's got to be hardcore heaven.
Yeah,
they should bring back Dreamer.
They're not going to do that.
They should.
They're not going to.
Oh, they really should.
He's an exec with Impact. He's not coming back to WWE.
Why? They let Mickie James.
Yeah, but
she was the freaking Knockouts champion.
Mickey's one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time.
Tommy Dreamer is an ECW original. I'm not saying get Taz.
They're not going to do it because they don't look at Tommy Dreamer like that. We do. They do. The WWE does not.
Yeah, but when
they'll bring back anybody, they're going to bring back like Rob Van Dam. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. They'll do that.
All right, I'm good with that too. I'm good with seeing RVD. If he comes out and helps Riddle,
that'd be pretty fucking cool. Actually, no, I take that back because I want this fight pit to be legit and amazing like the other one has.
Yeah, but what if Rollins paid off Cormier and they just beat the shit out of Riddle and then? Well, yeah, but it's a good swerve.
I mean, yeah, but I want them to I want to end the story. This should be a payoff to the story.
Yes, but
there shouldn't be like that.
They don't have anything left for them to. So you drag it out a little bit. What's wrong with that?
No, I don't want. I don't want to drag out.
Once you get past this month, you go to Survivor Series. So there's another because you're not going to pay it off at Survivor.
This
Series.
feud has already been drug out enough.
Yes, but it's still really good.
I agree it's good, but I
Yes,
need
but
an
you
end.
add a layer and you have Cormier and
I think you're thinking way too into Cormier as the special ref too, by the way.
doing that. Well, I still think it would be fun. It'd be like an old Attitude Era thing where freaking Shamrock got involved.
Yeah, but not this. This one I don't want.
All right,
I don't want to
I
give
would
it.
still mark out. If fucking
Would you really?
Yeah.
If Cormier just started whooping
if they
Riddle's
went
ass,
back, if they went back to like that's like Attitude Era. That's right up Triple H's alley.
I'm good. I think they're going to try and set up.
You know
some
what shenanigans fucking were going on in the Attitude Era?
Yes, of
we're
course.
going to get some shenanigans.
I want Cormier and Lesnar.
Hey,
in WWE.
Farva. What's that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the wall? Shenanigans? Oh.
No, I want Cormier Lesnar in WWE. That's what I want. I want to see what Cormier's always talking about WWE. I would love to see him.
That's fine, but why can't we start here? You just want to jump right into the meat and the potatoes.
Yes.
No,
because he doesn't need to ruin Riddle and Rollins.
It's not going to ruin it.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
No, I'm not arguing about that.
Don't you love how this has started? Go ahead, what do you got next?
The one other one that really intrigues me is a strap match.
I knew you were going to say that for some reason.
McIntyre
it wasn't the one that intrigued me the most, but I somehow knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Definitely, I mean, out of all of them, yeah, the fight pit is my number one, and this strap match is number two.
See, when I saw it, the most interested I was Bayley and Bianca in a ladder. I love ladder matches. I love them. I love the whole.
It's hard not to like them. They're one of the greatest gimmick matches
really
of all time.
I love the ladder match and the physicality in the ladder match. Like I always go back to Razor and Shawn when I think of the ladder match because it wasn't like I don't think this is going to be the acrobatics. I think this is going to be like the ladder is going to be a prop as a weapon. I don't think it's going to be like I agree, like a spot fest.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the ladder matches have turned into like, okay, let's see how big of a ladder I can get, and let's see who's going to jump off and try the craziest shit. Now that was cool when it was TLC and it was but now it's gotten so ridiculous. Like I don't want to be afraid if someone's like hurt all the time. I want it to be brutal in a sense of like
you have the ladder used
ever since like
with
Sheamus,
psychology.
As soon as Sheamus started to do suicide dives and fucking land on ladders, like and the breaking of the ladder. I sound like a fucking old man, but when the ladder's set up on the table and the fucking the ring apron,
yes,
and people try and break through it. Why did that become popular?
I don't know, but it's brutal. It's still fun to watch.
Everyone looks like they get hurt. Yeah. And I think they do. Probably.
It's hard not to get hurt with that kind of spot.
Why do it? Just give me the ladder is the psychology. You beat the shit out of someone. That's basically you have to incapacitate your opponent. And the
not a component.
Shut up. I was doing really good there. Your opponent and then climb the ladder. That is it. Why muck it up? The simplicity in the match. Bring it back.
I agree with you. I think they will. I think Bayley and Belair
go ahead.
We'll do that.
A classic match is a strap match.
And I think that's why I kind of
that's older school than the freaking ladder match.
It is.
Yeah, by a 100%.
Lot. Yes, I know. But
I'm surprised you like the strap match, being how old it is.
Well, because
I feel like
these two guys are old school type guys that'll beat exactly.
Beat the shit out
of each other. You're going to see the strap used. I can't wait to see their backs, the bruises that you are going to see.
Someone's getting choked with it.
Oh, for sure. And it's going to have to be McIntyre because Karrion Kross is going to use that with his finish.
Yeah, probably.
So I would assume Kross would use it, but no, I think it's going to be brutal. I think it's going to be like a legit fight.
So does Kross have to win this?
Yes, unfortunately for McIntyre, yes. He has to move on.
He's got to be legitimized somehow.
Exactly. Yeah, I think Kross.
It's not going to be losing.
No. Edge and Finn in an I Quit match. That's going to be really fun to watch too because Edge. They've made a point to keep saying that Edge doesn't quit, and that kind of scares me a little bit.
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
I don't think to Finn.
You don't think he quits to Finn?
No.
I agree because I feel like there's more to come with this feud. I feel like
there has to be.
Priest is kind of the next one. I feel like he gets past Finn and goes to Priest.
I feel like they need an actual leader. I feel like
Do you think that's what the White Rabbit comes into play?
I wouldn't mind if it was, and it was their leader, and they beat, like, it's basically Edge beating unfortunately, Finn's one of the minions, but I feel like Priest and Balor, I don't feel like either of them should be leader. I don't feel like either of them are leader material. I feel like they need one more person. And yeah, I feel Ripley's a good addition.
Ripley's awesome. I feel like she's the standout.
Dominic Short shit ain't the fucking leader.
But I feel like Ripley has come a long way since Triple H has taken over.
Role.
Yeah. I feel like she has definitely stepped forward and been able to be more herself and turn it up a little bit and be that character that she's doing, controlling Dominic, pulling him away from Ray. I feel like she has been far away the best member of that group and has stood out more.
Still not the leader.
No, still not the leader. I agree with that. Yes. So the other match that I kind of wary about, but I'm still looking forward to it just because of the people that are involved, is this Donnybrook match. Because I don't know what the fuck a Donnybrook match is.
We'd have to look that one up. I'm not familiar with the terminology of Donnybrook. I know it's a fight.
Well, yeah,
Donnybrook, it's a chaotic fight.
Donnybrook has always been associated with hockey as well. Like when bunch of back in the 70s with the Broad Street Bullies, that when they got into a fight with a bunch of different players got in a fight, they called it Donnybrook. That's what I get it. But where it comes from with the Irish English type, go ahead, because you're looking it up.
A scene of uproar and disorder, a heated argument. So they're just gonna get in the ring and yell at each other the whole time. No, I am going to punch you. No, I am going to punch you.
I mean, look,
you can't punch me.
Anytime you get Sheamus and Gunther in the ring together, I'm good for it because that was one of my favorite matches of the list, pay-per-view. So I'm good with that. And Ridge and
I see you're not excited for the Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan match.
It is the match I am least excited for.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how they go with this.
Okay.
I'm intrigued to see if this is just Ronda getting her title back in a dominant fashion, or if this is going to actually be.
I hope Liv beats her.
Okay.
I'm rooting for Liv Morgan
to continue the reign.
Continue. I wanted her to be. At first, I thought, she's a transitional champion. She ain't going to work. And I've watched her work, and I've watched her get better. And I want to see her keep going.
You feel like if she loses it, that might be it?
Yes.
All right.
I think she's back of the line, and I think you just end up Ronda. And don't get me wrong, I think Ronda Baszler is going to be phenomenal down the road when it happens.
Do you think that's the next step? Is Ronda in the babyface? She's not hated?
No, I think she's more the heel than she's definitely the heel over Liv.
Yeah, but is Ronda the babyface against Baszler? Or are they going to do like a fight where they're both?
Yeah, that's going to be that'll be hard to book that way. But yeah, I it is the one I'm least looking forward to. But I am kind of rooting for Liv Morgan in this one, and I'm interested to see what's added. Now we only have 6 matches that we
got to get the tag team in there.
Exactly, we got to have I would assume the Bloodline.
Got to get Oos in there.
Are we getting a attempt? We're not getting an attempted cash in because Roman's not on the card.
Correct.
Are we getting Johnny Gargano versus Theory as a pre-show match, or will it be on the main card? They've been building to this. KO. I mean, I love seeing Panda Express actually wrestle for the first time together, and as a tag team, that was pretty cool. Gargano and Owens, I thought that was cool. I thought finally Gable and Otis were actually wrestling and not getting bowled over by Braun again.
They didn't get those hands.
No, but I feel like WWE is building in the right direction, and this White Rabbit thing
could be the ultimate payoff.
I kind of don't want it to end. I don't want to know yet. I want to carry this on because I'm afraid.
You're afraid of what's to come after the White Rabbit is revealed.
I don't think they're going to fuck it up because I have faith in Triple H. But
you're still weary.
Yeah, I wanted to keep going. I love the unknown, and I love these little hints and the voicemail that is backwards and then frontwards, and I love all this stuff. I love the mystery.
You don't want the fun to stop.
I don't. I'm really enjoying and actually watching Monday Night Raw and having to look for these clues and
what if the person
not fast forward?
What if the person continues the clues? What if you just know the person and they leave more clues around to what they're going to do?
I think it cheapens it a little bit.
All right.
At least for me.
All right.
It might be for someone else, maybe not. But if I find out who it is and they're still leaving clues, what are they leaving clues for? Who their next opponent is?
What's to come?
I guess it would depend. If it's Bray, then I would probably be in no matter what. If it's someone else who I'm on the fence on wanting it to be,
Baron Corbin.
I'm saying anyone else but Bray. I'm on the fence.
Who are you on the fence with it?
Anyone but Bray is what I'm saying. Like the Field or Bray Wyatt. I'm on the fence on. I'm 50-50 on wanting it to be Bray or wanting it to be someone different.
Someone from the Field. Who are you taking?
I don't know. Someone who needs it. Someone who really needs it. And if Baron Corbin, I don't see it working.
What if the White Bunny is just another alter ego of Elias?
No, because I think Elias is coming back as Elias. I don't think they're
he's got a lot of time to grow that beard,
growing his beard back,
and
that
chest hair.
So yeah, I don't know, but I'm back and forth. I want it to be Bray.
Do you think
very bad.
Do you think Elias gets the pop for the guitar riff?
Yes,
yeah,
1,000%.
Yeah,
1,000%. When are we going to get it? Again, that's another thing I'm intrigued with.
But here's the thing: he gets the huge pop, but then he tells everyone to shut their mouth.
Depending on who his first feud is, yeah.
No, I think no matter what, you have to have him.
You come back
as because he's going to get such an ovation.
You have people forget about the brother thing with KO. You just completely be like that
absolutely.
never happened. Okay, so his comeback. He's not coming back to avenge that and go after Kevin. He's going to do something completely different.
Yes.
Okay.
Completely.
Okay. I'm good with either one, to be honest. I like him coming back and avenging and him and KO having a program. If KO's not going...
Keeping it bizarre.
Yeah, if KO's not going for the title...
So you're going to put Kevin Owens back in Bizarro World.
That's where I want it to go. Yes.
Right.
If he's not going for the title...
I was trying to get him the fuck out of Bizarro
Keep me entertained if he's not going for the title. Keep me entertained if he's not going for the title.
No,
if he's going for the title, then I agree.
I want that loud pop of, hello, this is Elias. And then I want them to tell everyone to shut their mouth.
And then someone interrupt him as he is about to play.
No, just let him go. Let him have his first song back. Ah. A lot of drink.
I refilled.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, so I honestly can't wait for this pay-per-view. I am very excited for it.
Too.
And I'm hoping
a couple more matches. Give me 2 more matches, and I think that's it. Maybe 1.
Well, we got Monday Night Raw right now as we're recording.
Well, here's the thing. I'm okay with having
8.
I'm okay with having 6 too. Just give me 6.
They won't do 6. I think they're going to.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. 6 is right in Triple H's wheelhouse where he has 6 stories. Unless he has one more storyline that he thinks he can eke out, because he was really good at the 5-match NXT TakeOver card. I don't see why this has to be any different than that. Give me a really memorable 2.5 hours than a drawn out 4.5, 5 hours. Just give me a solid 2.5, 3 hours. I'm in. Of all bangers. That's what he did in NXT.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine with that fucking.
Oh, the other thing. Before we forget, I should say, SmackDown. It looks like we might have the return of LA Knight.
Oh, okay.
Because we have Max Dupree attacking his models and taking off his jacket and throwing his belt buckle at them, and then as he walks away, slightly saying, yeah. As he walks away, the old catchphrase were LA Knight. So I can't wait if we're getting an LA Knight back and getting LA Knight on SmackDown. That just furthers
excitement.
SmackDown. Absolutely. Not that I think he's going to be on the pay-per-view, but just a character away from Max Dupree. Yes. Who's good on the mic and we know can go in the ring. So
but he doesn't have to. That's the best part.
Yes. Yep. I agree. He doesn't have to.
All right.
I think I'll do it.
We did another one.
Yeah.
And another one bites the dust.
Yeah. So thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed and listening. And we will be talking to you very soon.